Welcome to DogStar.
Each week we sit down with a star of rap and R&B, and this week we have the pleasure of sitting down with Junior the Genius.
The young Cheeto himself.
Yeah, the adolescent cheese puff himself.
Hey, thank you for joining us here in DogStar. We really appreciate you taking the time out to chat with fans, chat with us.
Yes, sir.
And get a little glimpse into your artistry.
Hell yeah.
Let's dive on in.
Yeah, so were you born in Minnesota?
Yes, I was born in Duluth, Minnesota.
Hey, okay.
Yeah, I was born in Duluth, Minnesota in 2001. Pretty much stayed in Duluth, Minnesota all the way up until I was like 13. Had to move to Arizona for about a year.
Holy moly.
And I came back up to Duluth and been up here ever since.
Nice.
Okay, so before we moved to Arizona, we're going to start back even before then. Who was controlling the music, like in car rides? Like, what do you remember playing around the house?
Yeah, it's a lot of music. Like, honestly, like for my big sisters, like they always played like that, you know, that like 2008 emo rock and like all that stuff. And then my dad always played that like rap. He always had Prof on, bro. Like, like 2007, like when he was first coming out.
Yeah, holy moly.
He had that shit bumping like every day. I remember that, man. I remember like, who is this?
How did he get tapped in with the Minnesota hip-hop scene? Just like going to shows, or was he into music too?
No, he wasn't necessarily in the music like that, not like artistry, but he definitely delved into the sound. He liked listening to music for sure.
Nice.
He was definitely a music listener.
I think that's so important to have parents who at least are might not have to be world-class trumpet players and singers, but at least have a good taste in music.
Right. Yeah. Also, there was this moment I want to tell you guys when I was like 4. I remember my favorite song was, Chamillionaire's Riding Dirty.
Oh, yeah.
So the Weird Al Yankovic, you know, his...
White and Nerdy.
Yeah, White Nerdy, yup. It was my favorite song when I was 4. I used to sing that all the time. Like, my parents still have a video of me doing this. Yeah. Like, honestly, like, that song, honestly, back in, like, 2005, it's gotta be, we had, like, this little, like, stand-up trick-or-treat skeleton, and it was, like, dancing. You like press it and it starts dancing, and the song it sang was "Super Freak" by Rick James, and I absolutely fell in love with the music, and I believe that's when I knew I wanted to like do something with music. Honestly, it's kind of cheesy, but it's funny because like, dude, this Rick James skeleton dancing, it like turned me on the music, it entertained me so much. I'm like, dude,
oh man,
it's funky. It's funky.
You said that you had older sisters. Where are you in the birth order?
Yeah, so I'm the middle child.
Okay.
I got 2 older sisters above me, a younger brother and a younger sister below him.
Okay.
So I'm the middle child for
that
sure.
Explains it all.
Yeah.
No, I'm just playing.
right. That's what everybody says, yes.
So, skeleton super freak aside, was there any musician, whether it was someone your dad was listening to or someone who you saw like on a music video on the internet who was holy moly.
There was a few.
A human with skin.
Ooh,
not
man.
the skeleton.
Yeah, I know, right? There was a few, man. It was Tech 9. He also listened to very much Tech 9, all the Strange Music group, and he just always loved that underground hip hop.
That Midwest rapping,
Yeah, he gave me like this big of a stack of CDs.
Oh my god.
Like the container, the quart container.
Yep.
He put them in there, and it's still stacked up like another quart on top of that. And he had to tape it. It was just mixtapes.
That's nice.
Like just other people's music, and I just listened to that, listen. Man, that was like 5 years ago or so.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That was before we started that TV Static stuff.
I mean, you're hinting at TV Static.
Yeah.
Before we jump into the kind of the evolution of the artistic journey, what was the call to the stage or even the call to writing your own music?
Man, it's
because I'm still at Super Freak Skeleton.
Yeah,
right.
Super Freak Skeleton. Yup. That was like when I was like
young.
4. Yeah.
And then you're saying Arizona. Did you start making music when you were down there, or was it when you came back that you started making music?
That was when I came back. Actually, while up here, I made music. There was a class actually. For 7th grade, I went to Proctor for that one little like 3 months before I moved down to Arizona. And we had, in music class, we had these iPads, and they told us to make, that's when I first discovered GarageBand.
Nice.
And so it was so cool. I love that music class because he had us make our own little album of just on the iPod, just like what I do with the iPhone. It's crazy, yeah. So we built our own little station. It was crazy, man. And my artist name was Minnie, and my album was called Asleep. And it was just like, it wasn't like ASMR or anything, but it was like cool, chill tones. Like I was just like producing on an iPad.
Is that out anywhere?
No. Okay. I think it's got to be lost. Like, I tried to open that iPad like 10 years ago, and it was gone.
If you ever recover it, you gotta drop it.
I know.
So you got that little taste before you moved away. Was there anything like that down in Arizona for you to get into, or
you focused on other stuff?
Not really in terms of music, because when I moved to Arizona, I moved with my mom, and my mom wasn't really into hip hop like that. She just like pop and stuff and stuff like that. And my dad is more seasoned with the hip hop, and so I had to do that basically like by myself, on YouTube and online and all that stuff. I just constantly listening to stuff. I always liked rap. I always listened to rap. But I never like thought like I want to be a rapper. You know what I'm saying? Like never was like I want to be like a musician. Like actually this is like fairly new. Pretty much like 2016, 2015 I started like I want to make music. Like I want to actually like make a living off this stuff.
That's wild. It's been nonstop ever since.
Yes, sir. Appreciate y'all for tuning in.
What was the first time on stage? Was it in school? Was it after high school?
It was actually in school. Yes,
no way.
Actually, yes. It was an assembly. I forgot if it was the talent show, because we had a talent show, and we also had a parent assembly that came. And the parent assembly was more like, it was a lot more parents, a lot more people in there. It was packed, and it was more like laid out and like, this is what's going to happen. He's going to come on. But the talent show was like, anybody can go on and do anything. But I did both of those at first. And there was a lot of people we performed in front of, like, because we performed in front of the whole school pretty much.
Whoa.
Yeah, like twice.
That's amazing. And were you
No,
performing your original work, or were you doing a cover? Or?
Yeah, it was the original work. I think we played Pink Panther and Excelsior.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. I obviously had to do a radio edit, but.
And you keep looking off stage. You're talking about you and Trip E when you say we.
Mm-hmm.
Solar Sunsets.
Mm-hmm. Solar Sunsets.
Probably before it was Solar Sunsets.
Right. Yeah. Trip E.
Were you going by? What were you going by when you were performing in front of the school?
I think I was Junior the Genius. I think I started to call myself Junior the Genius. I think it was like 2017 or so.
And this is before or after Junior Balloon?
That's just my email. That's just my email. But,
okay. Hey,
yeah, a lot of people.
Maybe an AKA,
Right, right. But my name was, I think it was straight up like Junior at first. And obviously, like that's taken. So I was like Junior the Artist. And I'm like, nah, that doesn't. There's no click to that. I'm like Junior the Genius with a J. I'm like, that sticks. That's cool.
Nice.
Let's do it.
It is nice. And where did that like name come from? Are you a junior or like?
Are you a genius?
My dad is actually
Mensa?
Right. No, try not to, self-proclaim, but my dad is a Shane as well. My dad's name is Shane too. And it's funny because my grandfather, which also I want to talk more about him because he's also into music as well as cooking, as well as my dad is as well. But my grandfather was gonna name my dad the same name as him, which is Gerald. And then he was gonna name me Gerald as well. So it'd be like
Trip.
My name would have been Gerald
the third.
Yep.
That'd be sick.
Imagine if my name was Jerry.
That's so interesting.
Yeah, what are the rules with writing Junior versus the second Roman numeral, like in your official signature?
Right.
Is it would you put Junior or would you put
II?
Oh, 2-2. Oh, like the Roman numerals.
Right.
I would put Junior.
Okay.
I would put Junior. I used to do the double II, but it didn't really stick.
Right.
Yeah, so I did the Junior.
Or be like, yes. Ill.
Yeah, right. Ill.
Right.
3. Yup, exactly.
No, that's tight. And to know that the call to the stage was there. Were you nervous there?
Oh yeah, I was, dude. I was having almost like a panic attack. This is my first time on stage, and it was in front of hundreds of people. I'm like, man, I never did this before. I never performed in front of my parents. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a shy kid. Like, I played Dopey in the kindergarten school play in Snow White. Just because he didn't talk. I was that mute as a kid.
Okay.
And I don't even know where it like clicked, because like somewhere in life where I just like started talking to people, you know what I'm saying? Because I was so in my own bubble, like growing up. I don't know what it was, but I was so in my own bubble, like collected. And then just something just happened, and then I'm just like an introverted extrovert now, where I can like go back and forth. Yeah.
And you can't pinpoint exactly what that was. Didn't
what
fall
movie
into
you watched.
bit,
right, exactly.
Bit by a radioactive spider or something.
Right. Man, I wish it was that interesting.
But yeah, so the first song that I'm aware of is Guerrilla Warfare in 2017.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about that song. Was that the first song that you released or the first song you ever made?
Was that
was
in
the
the
first
iPad era?
Yeah, that was made on an iPad. Thank you for that was made actually on the school iPad.
Okay.
That we borrowed. Oh, no, that was Tripp's iPad actually.
I got the fact
But
check.
yes, I had to fact check. It was Tripp's iPad. We was in school making it actually in music class, and we ended up going to his house to record it, and then my house again. And in school, it was like kind of a back and forth. We just took this iPad, and he had me just take it home real quick so I can record my verse. And this was like 2017.
Whoa.
So like right after we started making music, so it was like my first or second album ever.
And then a lot of artists, when they first start out, they'll record on other beats or maybe even industry beats. You guys are making your own beats. Where did that come from? Did somebody like tell you about like you're not going to be able to collect royalties off this?
I didn't know anything about that royalty stuff until like 6 years ago or something, like 2019, when we first started pushing stuff to the stores like Spotify, Apple Music and stuff. I didn't know any of that until then, because
so it just was happenstance that you liked your own beats better than stuff you could find on YouTube.
Exactly. And I don't even think I even knew how to do that at the time. We don't even know how to like
pull it into GarageBand.
Yeah, I didn't know how to download it directly. Yeah, I didn't know. I think I was like 14, 15.
That's such an interesting lane. And yeah, super creative stuff early on, doing skits early on.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
were you like an album fan? Like, did you? Can you remember?
I love like I believe that like albums are like pieces of art that should be enjoyed like as a piece of art, you know what I'm saying? Like they are pieces of art and they should be respected, you know what I mean? Some people like go over them. That's okay, you got your favorites and stuff. But like, I believe in my personal belief is like albums should be, all the way through, scoped out, because it's a whole storyline. Most of the time it is. Sometimes it's not, especially with concept albums, which are the albums that I make. That I have like a story. Like I don't know why, but I have to have like something that makes sense as a storyline for me to progress in my writing, even like my storyline, my writing, and how I process stuff. I need to have it make sense. So I go back to, the old timeline I made and rearrange stuff here and then and make it make sense.
Yeah, but before the show, he was showing us some exclusive behind the scenes. It's the master plan. It's kind of an outline, a two-dimensional representation of the universe.
Of the multiverse.
Yes.
Yeah.
I call it I call it Crescent 57.
Okay.
It's gonna be like a whole project that I'm gonna release, and it's gonna be, it's multiple projects, but it's under one whole like timeline.
Right.
And it's gonna be nice. It's gonna make sense to everybody.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. You wouldn't watch a movie out of order.
Right. Exactly.
You gotta listen to it. You gotta watch it in order. You gotta listen to the albums
kind of
in order.
Like how Marvel does their timeline in their movies. I kind of take inspiration from that as well.
Right.
But yeah, I just like to keep it simple and straightforward also, but at the same time keep it interesting.
And obviously when y'all started recording music, something clicked enough to where you stopped creating for a second and talked business. Can you talk about starting to implement like the business side of things into your artistry? Yeah,
so that's when we first started with TV Static back in 2016. It started more like it was like a record label, but also it was like, for the artist, but it was also its own business. And so we were building the business as teenagers and as like 14-year-olds and stuff.
That's huge.
Yeah. So it was big back then, man. It's big now, but man, it's been a long road in the making. It's been a long road in the making.
But to have that foresight, to see the value in what y'all can bring, what y'all can do and collaborate with, I did not have that foresight as a teenager, I'll tell you that much.
Man, we try to do stuff different. We try to, keep it fresh, keep it unique. We never want to copy somebody else or like, steal anybody else. Like, we want to do our own thing. We've been doing this, we want to do our own thing since the beginning. And everybody asks like, bro, where'd you get the 3D glasses from? And I'm like, bro, I think like honestly, Honestly, like, I don't even know. I can't even tell you. I don't even know where it came from. Honest, I just put one on one day. I'm like, this is it.
This is it.
This is it. It clicked.
It clicked. It clicked. Yes.
And is your
sometime in 2016.
Is your eye doctor concerned at all?
Oh yes. I actually have. Good thing you asked. Yes, I have I think it was called like triactive amblyopia or something. My right eye actually is undeveloped, and so it's actually kind of like not a baby eye, but like a child's eye almost. It like stopped growing
because of the glasses.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. No. Right. But no. Otherwise, I would stop doing that. But it's probably fucking it up. Sorry, it's probably messing it up more. But yes, the eye doctor said, he was like, yeah, it's like, I don't know if you can fix this. Because I was like 14 at the time, getting glasses, first time ever. First time I even knew how, like, I needed glasses. Like, I always talked to, like, my mom and stuff, like, yo, why is my one eye always, like, weird? But I never actually got glasses until I was 14. And then they were like, you can't really correct it right now, but you can keep it from getting worse. So I'm like, okay, bet. So, like, one eye, my left eye is 20/20, and the right is, like, I don't even know, it's messed up. But yeah, to say the least.
And do you have prescription 3D glasses? Yeah.
I wish.
Soon.
That would be cool. Yeah, soon.
Yeah.
Soon. It's coming.
That is awesome. We are sitting down with Junior the Genius here on DogStar. We're going to take a break in about 90 seconds. We're going to hint at what's coming up in the next segment. We're going to be talking about the development of the alter ego.
Yes, sir.
We're going to be talking about the rest of the discography.
Yes, sir.
And we're going to be talking about some upcoming shows this summer. Thank you again for coming through and chatting with us, chatting with fans.
Blessing. Yes, sir.
Make sure you follow Junior the Genius on Instagram, JUN. No, I spelled it wrong on my note card. Junior the Genius with a J, all one word.
And make sure you follow TV Static Entertainment on Instagram at TV Static ENT. Follow DogStar at DogStar Podcast on Instagram, and stream all episodes of DogStar right now on YouTube, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
You can also, if you're on Instagram, check out Minnesota.Vice. Minnesota Vice is the duo coming out. And that's Junior the Genius and Trip E, Soulless Sunsets. Soulless Sunsets is soulless_sunsets on Instagram as well. So a little homework for you guys during the break.
Real quick, we got 15 seconds. What should they do during the break?
Get your popcorn ready. Get your Mountain Dew, whatever you sip on, your bubble tea. Get that ready. You about to be in for one.
Bow wow. We will be right back with more Junior the Genius on DogStar.
Bow wow.
Bow wow.
Bow wow.
Welcome back to DogStar.
Sitting down with Junior the Genius.
Young CHEETO.
Barely scratching the surface of the discography, talking about the media production company. That's dope. Having the foresight
TV Static.
Yes,
start
TV Static Entertainment.
Having the foresight to start that. There's one song that I don't want us to forget. There's a Young CHEETO SoundCloud as well. And Kamehameha is on there, produced by Caddy. And that's just like not in my normal list, so I just want to make sure.
That's a really old one. I'm surprised y'all found that one. Like, honestly,
I'm
digging. Surprised y'all found that one.
Yeah,
I can't even get a hold of that account.
If it's up, we can still use it.
He can't take it down.
I can't take it down.
And
awesome.
I was gonna ask,
that's an early one.
Yeah, how did you decide on releasing a song? Because you had talked about how nervous you were performing the music. How do you finally click submit when you're uploading a song?
Man, that's like to me, that's like a whole different universe, like a whole different ballpark.
Because you could spend a year just recording it and re-recording it.
Exactly. So that's what I do when I record too. Like the way my method is, I just keep doing the same take. Sometimes I take 100 takes on one line.
Oh my God.
Sometimes I take one take on the whole song. Like, it depends. I just take your time, make sure. It doesn't have to be perfect, obviously, but it has to be great.
And did you have ever have a bad experience in the studio with somebody, or was it just the way you started was doing it yourself, and that's why?
Not necessarily. We usually only do it at my crib or Eli's crib, back in the day, or at school. Otherwise, there was a couple places we went to, but we didn't really record that much there. Recorded some verses actually on Excelsior a couple years ago, 2018. We did some of that, and we also we did a lot of stuff. We dilly dally with a whole bunch of different studios and different spots, and
we did that as what do you like about doing it yourself versus doing it other places?
Yeah.
Or what's the difference between
I love doing it by myself because I like deep down I know what I want and what the track needs, and so I can go in there and do whatever I need to do and what I want, and not like talk or argue with another person, like this should sound like this should sound like this. Like I just like having like full control because it gives you the full creativity. And I think that's why I fell in love with music, is because the creativity aspect. I've always been creative. I never been like a music guy since like 2017. That's when it like fully shifted.
You didn't
like,
grow up playing piano or anything?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I didn't do any of that as a kid. Didn't do like drums or any of that. I was drawing a lot. I was making art. I was doing that. I was, take my inspiration from a lot of things, different movies, different video games at the time. A lot of different things. A lot of stuff goes in my music. Obviously, you heard like the sound effects and stuff.
Yeah, killer with the samples. Man.
Loving all the usage of the Wilhelm scream. Loving all the Max Payne samples. That's
you got the Max Payne,
bro.
Blunt Force Trauma. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But I'm getting ahead of ourselves, so I wanted to kind of relay your graphic art, your drawing back into the early discography. Were you designing those album covers too?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
See, I think it was 2018 was a year. It was a crazy year. Like that year, a lot of stuff happened, honestly. Like in the beginning of it, I got like terribly sick with strep throat in like March, and it like the rest of my family caught it and they got through with it, no problem at all. I got it. I was sick for like weeks. I was like, man, I gotta go. And so I finally went to the hospital and had to do surgery and stuff. It was crazy. So that like changed my whole life, basically. I'm like, wow, like that could really end like that so fast just by being sick. You know what I'm saying?
Throws everything off.
Yeah, throws everything off. So I'm like, dang. And it's crazy because they did surgery on my throat, right? And a month after that, that's when I had to record my whole album. And I don't know why I really did it like that, but I'm glad I did, because it's a whole story. Because that stuff happened in March, and my first real album, Super CHEETO World, back in 2018. Man, that was a doozy, man. I had that completed in 30 days. We was pushing that out. I didn't even have anything. That's why I was speaking before. I didn't have anything set for the album before I set the release date. That's why I found out how the hard. But we made it in time. We made it happen.
It's definitely definitely a flame under your butt.
Yeah, we was like, oh man, we got to get this out. Like it was like we got to get this
deadline.
Out. Yeah. So that was a hell of a project.
And so was some of that written before the surgery, or was it all post surgery? It
was all post surgery.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I think the writing started. It had to be like late April, and then finally started recording in May. I released a release date May 31st, which is my birthday. I released a release date back in May 1st or whatever, and then right when I released that release date, I'm like, okay, make the album cover. I took like 50 different photos and matched it together, and I made that album cover, Super CHEETO World.
The
collage, yes. That was pretty fun to make, actually. I made that on my iPod, actually, iPod 6.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. I want to talk about that too, sorry. Like the way how we started off as TV Static, we produced everything on iPod and on iPad and Apple devices and GarageBand.
What?
Everything off GarageBand up until 2021.
I love that.
Yes, sir.
It's the power of creativity,
baby. That's right. Don't let anything stop you. You have a machine in your hands that can do anything. Like, do it.
That's huge.
Sure.
I mean, that's an Apple commercial right there. Apple fucking sponsor these guys.
And were some of the tracks from The Legend of Chester a few months later leftover from Super CHEETO World, or was that brand new? It was on to the next thing.
Actually, all the songs except for Superflex, which is just a rendition of Super CHEETO World Superflex, but I made my own beat. See, Super CHEETO World, I think So Super CHEETO World and Flaming Hot Demo are the only projects that I made that use other people's beats. Like everything else in my discography is purely either me or actually the one that I just put out with DJ A-Dub. He produced that one. Yeah, shout out to DJ A-Dub. Man, great producer. Other than that, that's pretty much everything else is our production.
That's so fun.
Yeah, I always try to do everything, creative as possible.
Yeah, super. I mean, from the album art to the, picking the samples and like, it's you got to be totally different rapping on a beat that you made versus. Are you making the beats first, and then writing to them?
Yeah, I'm definitely making the beats first. I've met some people that can do that. And I'm just like, I don't know how they do that, because it's like then you got to find how you're making this rhythm and the beat, and it's like, wow. But it ends up pretty good. Sometimes I've seen it happen.
Yeah, multiple ways to do it, for
sure.
I wanted to ask why your Spotify discography doesn't start until 2019.
Yeah, so we first started actually putting out our music in to the stores in 2019, or I think it was 2018 we tried, but they didn't let us. In 2019 we actually did. That was Legend of Chester. We had that stuff up, and then we went from there. We had a couple mixtapes in that Super CHEETO World, which is in stores, which is on SoundCloud and YouTube and stuff. That was the one we couldn't put to stores due to legal issues, but that's all right. But everything else is just my production.
You had just brought up Legend of Chester, which is also subtitled Episode 1.
Mm-hmm.
I say we dive into the universe. So what was the origins of, was it just, all right, I can make a song, I can make an album, I can make a trilogy. A trilogy.
That's how it first started.
And then I can make a whole, literally a whole universe, such a vivid universe. Where did that idea stem from?
Honestly, I don't even know. Honestly, I take inspiration from different things, like I said, the Marvel universe and in different, actually, no, I know. I actually do know. It came back to me now. It's you ever played The Legend of Zelda?
Mm-hmm.
You know how they have their timeline that came out recently? It was years ago. I think it was 2019 or something like that. But they came out with this whole timeline, and it's stems into different versions and different you choose this, and that's why I like that stuff from The Matrix. How you could choose your red pill or you could choose the blue pill. You know what I'm saying? I like that. I used to read them old adventure books.
Yeah,
choose your own adventure books as a kid.
Bro.
Yes, I used to love them. I can't find the ones that used to read though. I've been trying to find it, but I can't.
What was it about? You got a platform. We'll have people put in the comments. You remember what was it about, and maybe somebody will know about it.
Yeah, actually, I remember a couple pages from it. It was more of it was drawn out as a graphic novel. But it was the Choose Your Own Adventure. So I don't think it was the brand Choose Your Own Adventure, but it was that type of genre of a book. But I remember they were going in this they were gonna fight these monsters. They were going this sewer area, and then you gotta you want to turn left, you want to turn right, you want to do this, you want to do It makes it interesting because you are the driver instead of you are being put in the passenger seat. You're actually the driver, and I want that for a listener. I want it as immersive as possible. As a listener, to the ground up, that's what we're about, trying to make art that's just art. You know what I'm saying? It's not no copying, no biting other people, no none of that, man. It's straight original stuff.
Art for art's sake.
Yes, art for art's sake. Yes.
I was gonna ask, well, when is the graphic novel, the Genius graphic novel coming out?
I know, right? That's pretty
animated
soon.
Series.
Or if y'all have listened to Felt 2 and or listened to the hard copy, but there's a comic book within the album lyrics that is within this weird fake parallel universe with Merce and Slug and Ant all semi superhero. It's tight. It's tight. But we could talk after the show for sure.
That's
but just
that's interesting.
The art by artists for artists.
Yes, always,
I love that.
Yes.
That's crazy. I don't know whether to just keep blasting through this discography, but I wanted to ask what the art scene or music or maybe hip hop specifically scene in Duluth is like.
Yeah,
was it
Twin Ports adjacent?
Yeah.
I mean,
Up there, there is a few people. There is at least like a good handful of great artists, you know what I'm saying? But there isn't as much as, you know, the cities, obviously. There isn't as much opportunities as the cities, and that's why I made that move last year, because there wasn't really that much shows happening up there. Nobody like, you know, throwing stuff. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go down to St. Paul, Minneapolis, do my thing, see how people like it, you know what I'm saying? And I'm glad I did. I'm glad I did my toe in the water, because look at where it brought me now.
People dig it. Yeah, bro.
Appreciate y'all, for
We're
real.
bobbing. Yeah. So I've got the Spotify discography here, starting, like I said, 2019 with First Time Smoking with the Tuscan Raiders. Man.
The re-release.
The re-release. Because, yeah, man, that was... yeah, so fun.
Star Wars fans?
Like very, very much Star Wars fans.
Okay.
Yes, and that's also a little bit of inspiration there too, you know. Take inspiration from a lot of other video games as well. Mm-hmm. It's like a lot of different things, you know. Yes.
Yeah,
very creative mind.
And having the iconic samples too, because video games will do that a lot, where it's like you hear this sound and it's like almost like triggers a specific emotion in you.
You're right.
And like you're super good at that, having it be like the perfect perfect sound for the emotion.
Lined up, because I remember, I think actually that is exactly how that video game stuff happened. Originally, my brother-in-law, he put me onto this album, Eternal Champ by Sweet Valley. It's actually like an EDM album.
Okay.
But it's not like crazy EDM. It's actually like video game. He sampled video game sounds, and he put them in like this cinematic, like seamless, this seamless album.
Wow.
And so when I listened to that first, it was only like 10 songs, but when I listened to that, it like fully like I want to do music. Like this is insane. Like I want to do something like this, but with hip hop. You know what I mean?
That's so cool.
Yeah. Implement the video game and culture into hip hop music.
It's like a collage of sound.
Yeah,
it's
movies.
Super cool.
I mean, that's kind of how hip hop's always been. And I think into the digital age, taking full advantage of that.
Sir.
Or like when The Weeknd was sampling Beach House.
Yeah.
It's like, wait,
exactly.
you can just sample, you know, obviously if you get the permission, if you're, you know what I mean, follow all the legal routes, you can sample anything for the right price. But there's nothing's off limits, especially with a genre so creative.
You know what I'm saying? That's why I love hip hop, is because you can really go there's so many different subgenres and like so many different like outputs that people go through, and that's why I love hip hop, is because people have their own thing. You know what I'm saying? Like people can be like this type of hip hop, totally different but sound the same. Like this and that. It's like anybody can do anything with hip hop. It's like that's what hip hop is about. It's for the people. You know, put some of this, mix it together. Do that. Like it's about the art. It's about the art style.
I mean, we're talking to Senior the Genius over here, laying down facts. No, that is a great way to put it.
Yes, sir.
And then continuing on the Spotify discography, Princess Zora was 2019. That's another single. But then you're doing these 5-song EPs, and you were talking a little bit earlier about your like just storytelling process, and like liking to have the acts of a story going down.
Narrative driven, definitely.
Narrative driven, yes.
So 4/20/2020, 4620 comes out, and that's the more instrumentally one.
That's a whole instrumental beat tape.
Yep,
exactly. That's why I made that. Is I wasn't really feeling at the time, stuff was happening in my life where I couldn't like lay down written stuff, so I just put it to GarageBand, put that stuff in, and started producing. And then, like I made this little beat tape, and I just put it out. You know what I'm saying? And 4620, that was actually like my old address.
So like snapshot.
If you look in the corner of the album cover, it says 420 because the photo was taken on 420.
Oh, perfect.
And I released it on 420, so it's kind of like a trifecta moment.
And within your entire discography, it's almost kind of like a palate cleanser.
Yeah, you know,
in between chapters.
Yeah, in between
it's cool.
chapters. Yeah, I like that like little break. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't listen to somebody like you could, but it would get old after a certain period of time, no matter who you listen to. And so, as the timeline goes on, there's periods where like every third album is an instrumental album, so you know you get these fresh beats and stuff, and that's not like, it doesn't have to be in your face, you know, rapping and stuff. You know, it can be chill, it can take you on an adventure. It's what you make of it, you know what I'm saying? And that's another reason why I put like the listener in the driver's seat too. It's like you can imagine whatever with them instrumental things, because there's no words and you can understand it in any language.
That is true.
We are sitting down.
You can freestyle over them too. Can people hit you up for those beats, or those you would never be able to be
or
used?
Do you got a vault? You got?
I do have some beats, but I still be making beats for sure. I just still be making beats for sure. Yeah, definitely hit me up if you guys need some. Hit me up.
That is Junior the Genius on Instagram. That is JuniorTheGenius. Follow us at DogStar Podcast, DOGSTARPODCAST on Instagram.
And yeah, you can look those up on YouTube, Spotify, pretty much everywhere. We've got our stuff filed correctly these days. So we'll be right back with more Junior the Genius.
Yes,
Bow wow.
Bow wow.
Bow wow.
Bow wow.
Welcome back to DogStar.
We're sitting down with Junior the Genius.
The genius himself.
Young CHEETO.
Yes, sir.
So are you both, or are you just like one right now, or like how does the alter ego work?
It's like different subject matter, or
entirely. So Junior the Genius is like the hub of alter. So Chef Shane, which is like the real me, you know, in like I work as a chef in like, you know, that's my 9-to-5 job.
Okay.
And then
as of the day we're recording this.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, exactly.
For now.
Yes. Yeah. And and also Young CHEETO, which is me. With the 3D shades, Miami Heat, you know.
The pink jacket,
you know.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And
I love that. Does that help you when you're like writing stuff, or do you have like, I got a Chef Shane at here. I've got a frick, you know what I mean?
that as well. Yes. So like here and there, even like in the everyday life, even when I'm working like on the line and stuff, I be having these ideas come to me. I'm like, I gotta write that down. Like I either bring out my phone or put it on a piece of paper and like work on it later, like you were saying.
Yeah, do you have any advice for artists who are maybe trying to be as creative as possible, but like obviously you need to like pay for your studio time and stuff, so they're working a job, like how do you stay creative at work, or like how do you not let that get in the way?
Yeah, it's definitely a process. You just definitely gotta just hold on to it and believe in yourself, you know what I'm saying? It's definitely inside, like everything that happens for a reason, you know what I'm saying? So everything you do, like keep it original, as long as it's original and not like knocking off somebody, and just be yourself. Just be yourself, for real. Be yourself.
That's good advice. Hard advice to figure out sometimes.
No,
but
it is. It's definitely hard to,
advice.
You know, rearrange that, work your way around that. But yes, be yourself for sure. Definitely as an artist, like that's the number one thing is be yourself, and be yourself and don't.
Professor. The professor. Seriously, you're teaching me lessons. I love it.
No.
A few more projects I want to reference in the discography, including Loch Ness,
5-song EP,
Fire, Legendary, Blunt Force Trauma, The Misadventures of Milkman, and Cliffhanger. Is that within the verse, the realm?
Yes, it is within the realm. Yes.
And what was the thought process behind? I mean, I don't want to call it a departure, but it definitely sounds like y'all are having fun.
Yeah,
making that.
Yeah, for sure. I think I remember first starting this timeline thing. I think it was like back in 2018. I just like always had it. I always bought like a notebook or like a journal every year, and like had one journal for like the whole year, and then get a new one. So I have like this collection of like journals.
You still got them?
Yeah, I still got them.
Oh, that's awesome.
I know, right? Yeah, I try to keep as much as I can. You know, stuff happens to stuff, but yeah, I definitely still have the original copies of the first version, Mark 1, all the way up until now.
Wow.
It's definitely been a journey. It's definitely been some expansion.
And speaking of expansion and evolution, Mercury, another 5-tracked.
Yep.
I like to, in my mind, I've been calling it a concept EP or concept project.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Not quite the album length, but it still is. It's densely packed.
Yes, densely packed is yes. For Mercury, That was 2021. I was more in a darker state at the time, and I wasn't able, like 4620, I wasn't able to put myself onto the paper and put myself recording and like, you know, send it out like that. So I put myself, you know, in the producer stage and did all that. And I like making like a journey, like an adventure for the listener to, that's my plan, is to make it like almost like a movie, but you're listening to it. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's like a video game because you're picking your own path. You're choosing, you know what I mean? I want to have that sprinkle all in there, you know what I mean? Have your own, like the choose your own adventure stuff.
Yeah, right. Or the, again, back to the skits, you know, just visualizing the guy behind the counter in the Wu-Tang skit, visualizing the guy who you run into in the Junior the Genius skit. It's so tight.
Yeah.
Again, you're painting the picture.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's so fun. One song I wanted to bring up was the first track off Moondog. Canis Major, because that is the DogStar.
Yes, that is the DogStar.
Full circle.
Yes, big dog.
Like,
yes, sir.
All right.
Yes.
That's cool. Moondog. Where'd you get the name for that?
Yeah, good thing y'all asked. Actually, it was it's a family thing. Actually, my great granddad,
Moondog man,
he had this name. He had this nickname. It was Moondog. You know, his nickname was Bulldog. But my granddad took that and he made a band with his brothers and he made it called the Moondogs. And it's cool. They have this mixtape that I have on a CD. It's not out anywhere else. It's only like on physical and like on a 8-track tape. And he finally did it to compact disc, so it's real exclusive.
You gotta upload that to SoundCloud.
I know. I've been thinking about it.
I do like a Junior the Genius Redux cover.
I've been thinking about doing that. Yes, so they were in like this like small little garage band with my granddad and his 2 or 3 brothers, the Moondogs. Yes, they were.
Sick.
They think they formed. I think it was like 95 or something like that. Actually, like started making music.
Whoa!
And then like the half of the stuff on that tape that he gave me was from 97, and half of it was from 03.
Okay, staying active. I love that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Bringing it back. Yeah, that's so interesting. Personally,
always nice to know how these ideas either are introduced to you or smack you in the back of the head.
Right.
Fall from nowhere.
Right, like
fall from the Canis Major, perhaps. Fall from the heavens.
Big star.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And at least on Spotify, that's labeled as an album. Is there any difference in your mind between an EP and an album, or like?
Oh yeah, actually, good thing y'all asked too, because I wanted to explain that to my fans, actually, my supporters. So what I have going on in my timeline, like the 5-track little EPs with the color coded, those are called super sagas, and each color is each track, and so it's like each kind of like vibe / mood that it puts you in for, like, it's like a little adventure, the 5-track adventure. It's called a super saga. And on the whole timeline that I have these super sagas as well as the instrumental tapes and the full albums, so you get like a bit of each every time.
That's huge. And the one other dope way that you're organizing your music on SoundCloud, at least back in the day, you're doing the set list. I think that's so cool.
Yeah, you've seen that. That's cool.
So
We've
cool.
never seen anything like that.
Really?
Yeah, I'm going to tell every artist to do that.
We've seen like the set list like posted on their IG after the show, but
Instagram stuff.
Making the actual SoundCloud or Spotify playlist. It's like if you weren't there.
Yeah, exactly. I got the
and
Soulja
if you
Boy
were
stuff
there,
up.
you want to hear my second to the last song is here, or it's like Grateful Dead would release their like live concert albums, and people would be like, I want the one of the concert I was at. So I want the playlist. Yes. I want to feel the same
from
as
the
I
Arizona
felt that
show.
night.
Yes, and that's exactly why I have that. Like people can't get to the show, they want to experience it. Like, this is the track list, exactly how I laid out to everyone else, like exactly how I want.
Yeah, that is truly genius, I think.
Do you ever see yourself touring out to Arizona or down to Florida?
Yeah, we actually, me and Eli, we went to Florida a couple months ago.
No way.
Yeah, we went to Miami. Hence the Miami Heat and stuff. We went to Miami, performed at, I think it was 1 or 2 venues. It went to pretty cool people there.
That is awesome. How is it performing to predominantly strangers versus people who know you and dap you up here in Minnesota?
It's definitely different because we went to, like I said, 1 or 2 open mic nights, and we went to this one. It was like people were like, "Oh yeah, this and that, this and that." It was like a whole. It was like a whole like. I felt like I was being put in a different like whole universe. Like there's these people have their lives and their music going on, and like their story is totally different from like over here, and it's just like amazing. And that's what make hip hop great, because everybody has their own story and their own like, you know, their own backstory, their own, you know, whatever you want to do with it, it's yours. Like that's what hip hop is.
Oh yeah,
culture.
I mean,
you had mentioned, I believe, the Flaming Hot demo. We just talked Moondog. We got the Legend of Chester reprise.
Yes, sir.
We have Act 2, The Rise, which is like a compilation.
Yes,
how would you consider that?
It's kind of like
compilation. Catch up with Junior the Genius.
Yes. Yes. So for right now, I have the whole Act 2 out right now. From the timeline, I do not have. Actually, the Act 1 is going to be released pretty soon here within the next year. Definitely is going to be released. We're working on that. Yes. So it's going to be Act 1 and 2, and then we're working on 3 pretty much right after that. You know, going down. We already have Act 4 already out. Oh my
god! So, I mean, I'm not surprised, but that is awesome. I'm trying to hear officially.
Yeah. I'm not trying to like confuse people, but at the same time, I'm trying to like do other stuff. You know, not keep it, you know, same tone the whole time. Right. I'm trying to sprinkle a little bit of that, a little bit of this.
Y2K in September of 2024, Medium Rare October of 2024, Flame On Freestyle. I mean, I'm considering that a Christmas song, December of 2024. And then Flamingo Slim, your newest project.
Yes, sir.
April of this year, of 2025.
April of this year, yes, sir. Just came out, fresh out the oven.
I mean, that's what we're here to, predominantly talk about. Those are the tracks people are about to hear.
Yes, sir.
What can you tell us about the 2 tracks your representative sent over?
Yeah, so the track 1 is Pilot. Pilot is the intro song. It's the first track on the album.
Setting the tone.
Yes, it was originally a freestyle. It was originally the Skyline Freestyle 2 that I had on my IG. It was originally that, and I took it and I built a second part of the first verse, and I made it like one whole big verse, and I just I just laid it out just like that. Shout out Chevy Keys. He puts us on the mixing and mastering and stuff, and engineering. He engineered that track for us. He also did what was it? Flame On.
Nice.
Going on to Pilot. I just love the vibe of it. Like when I first heard it, DJ Ada produced this. When I first heard it, when he sent it to me, I was like, yo, this sounds like some like Pink Panther, like no, like this sounds like some like low key like jazz club music.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is dope. And I like just started writing and just like, I don't know, it just hit me.
Well, I hate to interrupt you, but we're out of time. You're about to hear Pilot and Cradle to the Grave by Junior the Genius. Make sure you follow Junior the Genius on Instagram, and DogStar at DogStar Podcast on Instagram. Bow wow.
Bow wow.
Young CHEETO, DJ A-Dub, got Chevy and Trippy in this shit for a quarter. Adult Swim tight issue. Alright, let's go. I'm hopping out the 1983 coupe DMC. Wallpaper on my Jones Cena. You ain't seeing me, my drip plead the 5th double OTD. No cap when I spit, I be spraying shit, but it's really red copper leave my marker walls, my graffiti leak. I will pee a lead like it's shoddy, yeah, you feeling me. Lying through your teeth, girl, I came to scope the scenery. Finna get the key to my city, folks see a bleed. Feelin' finna Joe Blow, Dolomite, TNT. Mama Frodo, bagging up the seal of green. Oh, when your couch shotty, she a super freak. What burn Mother Earth needs. She be pleasing me. Dead sea, Father sky coming down. I meet the priest, sun is Sam Gemini. So Cal, I heat the east. 44 Jenius, after 56, I keep the beat. 0 to 100K, now 1 G's like Speedy G. Uno downstairs, quattro money in the bank. Nachos in the whip, whipping Peter Pan. Crocodile seas, lean back. Your squad terrorize, shotty relapse. Stop this dope dick, swapping rolls 12 on my rear, but I'm in paradise. Dog, I'm verified, keys off the soprano. I proceed to switch the whip, to flick the wrist like Thanos. I go Bruce Banner with the big ish till I'm standing on the top, down like Swiss Miss.
Riders on the storm, didn't go nowhere to go. Just shot your own woman. You can roll if you want to. Open up the runs, pack it in the blood. Just shot your own woman. You can roll if you want to. Riders on the storm, didn't go nowhere to go. Just shot your own woman. You can roll if you want to. Open up the runs, bag it in the blood. Yeah, shot your own woman. You can roll if you want to.
Young CHEETO.
I got a bone to pick, who you rollin' with, yeah. Over cold and sick, Minnesota shit, yeah. I got a bone to pick, who you rollin' with, yeah. My over cold and sick, Minnesota shit, yeah.
Traded to the grave, baby, 25 to life. Brothers dying on the front line, trying to get the knife. If you reach for it, steel swords will get the swing and meet you 3/4. Call the flip will leave you fried. Listen to the scripture, what I'm about to tell you, heaven sent. Pouring up the picture, but the catch is it has never been. Runneth over, but for sure to make it happen definite. Both with my kin, and this shit can get more level. And my little daughter sick, I gotta whip the excellence. One never changes, but it's played with different enemies. Full of famine, looking fast for the fifth element. Before I look, I gaze death in his face readily. Baby, keep it chin, I kick the dirt up off your shoulder. It's
Cradle to the grave, baby, cradle to the grave.
don't sue your fate, little girl, cause destiny comes back tenfold in its.
Cradle to the grave, baby, cradle to the grave.
There's a war outside, but your soul on fire. Just
Stop driving, roll.
if you gotta burn a bridge, baby, let it burn in.
Stop out and roll.
When the smoke clears, baby, don't look back, daddy.
Been down that road.
If a mother will wanna try you, daddy gon'
Keep down this road. All the way round it goes.
yeah.
All the way round it goes. All the way round it goes. All the way round it goes.
From the womb to the tomb, girl, I'm blessed in fact. You a beautiful cocoon, you my better half. From the bottom to the top, from a deck of stack to the moon and back, I got yours, remember that. Little baby, keep it chin, I kick the dirt up off your shoulder. It's
Cradle to the grave, baby, cradle to the grave.
don't sue your fate, little girl, cause destiny comes back tenfold in its.
Cradle to the grave, baby, cradle to the grave.
There's a war outside, but your soul on fire. Just
Stop driving, roll.
if you gotta burn the bridge, baby, let it burn in.
Stop out and roll.
When the smoke clears, baby, don't look back, daddy.
Been down that road.
If a mother would wanna try you, daddy gon'
Keep down this road. Just stop driving, roll.
Cradle to the grave, baby.
Then stop out that road. Daddy been down that road. Daddy gon' keep down his door.
What else you got?
La 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 la. La 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 la.
Yeah, that's right, big girl. You hanging up the headphones, you said, that's it. Send it out. Send the album out.
professionally hanging out the microphone.